I am in charge of making the vegan ham for this Thanksgiving, and I'm going to go ahead and bring you with me to show you how I go through the process. Another way of utilizing Vita wheat gluten and making a different form of seitan. That's S-E-I-T-A-N, not Satan. If you have a dough one that's more plastic instead of this sharp one, try to use this dough one for this one. 180 milliliters of water. 140 grams of tofu. 2 tablespoons of liquid smoke. 10 drops of red dye. And liquified. 4 tablespoons, so that means I need 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, that's onion. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got 4 tablespoons of onion powder. Then I need 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Use my old garlic powder first. That's 1. That's 2. 3 tablespoons of bubbling brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of chickpea powder. This actually is very good for the texture of the whole thing. This is what it looks like from top. Okay, so that's what it looks like. All right, that's what it's supposed to look like. Liquid, grainy. Now we got to put in the magic formula, the Vita wheat gluten. Here comes the tricky part. We got 250 grams of Vita wheat gluten that we're going to put in here. The mixture's already made. I got an opening here. And so we're going to start spooning this in here like this, okay? Right? All 250 grams of it. I guess you could start mixing it. Now, one quick note. Probably at 1 minute or so, your food processor may start struggling. And you really want to divide it into 2 halves anyway. So at about the 1 minute marker, I'm going to take it out. You still got 2 more minutes of mixing, but what you want to do is you want to divide it into 2 different parts, because we're going to need to divide it into 2 different parts down the road. But you want to get it just enough so it's starting to, you know, gel a little bit, kind of looking like great looking Play-Doh. Separate it into 2 parts. It's 2 parts. And we'll do each part separately for 2 minutes. Now we've already done 1 minute of mixing. Now we're going to do 2. Because we want them separated, because we're going to put something in between the 2 of these. So we're going to do 1 piece for 2 more minutes and the other piece for 2 more minutes. You got this first piece right here. You want to stretch it out so that it looks just stretched out enough to create sort of a loaf. You can flatten it out a little bit and out a little bit like this. What I want to do is I want to take my extra virgin coconut oil and put 3 scoops in there. We're going to add the fat right into it. Now, we don't add the fat in the mixture while we're mixing it up. I want about 3 dollops of it, okay? This other side of this. And I want to flatten that out a little bit too, so it turns into a little bit of a, we're going to make a coconut sandwich. Okay? Okay. So I got it on this flat thing right here. Now, what I'm trying to do is I want to create I'm going to put this on top of this and squish these things here together. Okay? Now, I kind of want to create it so that it creates a nice solid loaf that I want to stick together, because I want to keep all of that fat, which is that coconut oil, inside. If it squeezes out, it's okay. It ain't that big a deal. But this makes for a very round presentation. And I must admit, this is the stickiest I've ever made it. But there we have it. Okay? It's all encompassing together. It's one ham all together, and it's ready to roll. We're gonna put this in here like this. All right. Then we're gonna wrap it up like a big old cigarette or cigar. Wrapping it up, wrapping it up, wrapping it up, wrapping it up, and then we pinch it on the end and twist it. And this is going to help create the right texture. Take it on the ends, and then we twist it so it stays put. Twist it so it stays put. And this is what we're going to put in the oven. And this is going to be our ham. You see that? Twist it on the side so that so when it cooks, it stays wrapped up tight, so it creates the right kind of texture of lunch meat. You got to put this in the oven now. And then we put them all in the oven here. And we set the oven to 350 degrees, and we let it stay put for about an hour and a half. So now we want to get the water ready, or the broth ready that we're going to boil it in. So we want, so I'm using two different ones because they're kind of big. So I'll put some smoked paprika in here, and I want to bring them to a boil, because we're going to soak these loaves here, in both of these. We're going to add some vegetable broth to it as well. You want to boil your broth and bring it to a boil. After it comes to a boil, you want to place your loaves or your ham in there, but then take it, but you want to crack the top of it and then put it back into the oven where it's still 350, and let it stay in the oven for another hour and a half cooking or simmering. That's what you want. You want a simmering to occur, not a boil, but a simmering to occur. And then after it simmers, you want it to soak overnight, because that extra moisture that it soaks in overnight, that's going to give it its, its bouncy kind of texture. That's kind of like lunch meat. And that's where you get that texture from. And this is where the magic happens. This is where you got to be patient, because you got to do this part overnight. And, a lot of times you can make seitan and it's not a overnight process. But when you're trying to do the ham texture, it just takes this. Looks like we're boiling here, so we're ready to rock and roll on this one over here. All right, so we're at a boil right now, okay? So let's go ahead and show you how we go through this process. Kind of see a hint. Oh, it poked out a little bit there. But we'll see how these things turned out when we peel them open. And here's the final version of it soaking. Now the last thing we have to do is score it, and then we will put some glaze on it. That's optional if you want to do it, but you want to just at least try to bake it for 20 minutes to give it a little harder outer shell. And there you have it, the ham.